First of all, a word of appreciation from Nova regarding this invitation and the continuity of this work since 3 years ago, and the opportunity now to work with Loughborough University as well with this partnership and evolving all these frameworks. So a few words just to explain what it was done. Basically, APO developed his own framework with 4 domains of evaluation that were already explained. And the idea here is to use a framework developed by Loughborough University with 6 factors that is being used for several years and that can produce comparable results from different countries. So there is a parallel between these 2 frameworks. The idea is, apart from looking at this parallel, to look at the new framework and to, if possible, develop it. So the first approach is to look at the data that we have available now and apply it to this new framework, which will be presented by Michaela afterwards. But we have more work to be done here, and the objective here is to first create a kind of observatory. We would call it observatory actually, where we're going to collect the data from different countries and we'll produce periodic results regarding this or based on this approach. Another possibility of study and continued work is continue to work with Professor Ilham and explore one of the things that this framework has, which is we have some flexibility here, some degrees of freedom, and makes sense to look at these degrees of freedom and consider different sectors or different types of outsourcing or co-sourcing or whatsoever, and looking at that, applying or refining the framework, the TAVAS framework, properly regarding each of those sectors. So basically, this is what is about to be done. Michaela, if you don't mind, go on.
It's working, yeah? Okay, good morning, everybody. So, as already been said, I'm here to try to guide you through the data collection that we have been doing. And so I would like to start with the first factor. And the first factor that we took into consideration is cost. A lot of the stuff I'm going to say have already been said, so I'm going to try not to repeat the same things. Yeah. But for factors, the first category was the average wage per skilled employee and high-level profiles in IT. So we took into consideration, first of all, developers and then project managers. And according to our sources, we can see that Portugal is quite competitive on this side, especially for the low-end profiles, meaning developers. Then we went for the average rent prices, and here, okay, I think I should underline the fact that we decided to compare Portugal with other 2 countries.
Right, yeah, that's correct.
It was not said, but as the original framework was at a comparative character, we decided to keep this character and to compare Portugal with Spain, Czech Republic, and Poland. So
let me just add that this is a first approach again to this new framework, and we chose these countries because first of all they were being observed by us in our previous framework throughout the years, and secondly it's pretty much common sense that these are the countries. Obviously we can consider Bulgaria, Hungary, Romania, etc. Those countries are out there and playing the game. Okay, we want to take this further and we want to look at a lot other regions. Let me just say that all these flags were not there because this is not our work. This is based on Nearshore's UK analysis, okay? So this is just to demonstrate the sort of graphics that we're going to be developing from now onwards. And again, we're going to be looking at some of these countries and other countries. This is totally work in progress.
So the countries that we choose were Spain, Czech Republic, and Poland, and we've been comparing all the factors to these 3 countries and trying to understand how Portugal is performing in comparison to them. So going back to what I was saying, the average rent prices, we decided to look not only at the capital, so in this case not only at Lisbon, but also at least another city in each of the countries, since also other cities can be considered as interesting destination for outsourcing. In the case of Lisbon, we have chosen Porto, but in general the logic that I've been trying to follow is the number of existing outsourcing experiences that are already in place in these cities. And what we can say, and I need to be quite fast on this, is that especially when comparing capitals, Lisbon has a really high competitive advantage, being the price is much lower than all the other cities, and being the Spain the one with the highest costs. Then also regarding costs, we've been taking into consideration costs of telecom, electricity costs, and the level of corporate taxes. This last point, I think it's very interesting, and it has already been said, but I think it's worth repeating. It's the fact that nowadays the level of corporate taxes is 23% for Portugal, and it's the same as Poland, and 21 for Czech Republic and Spain. But there is a reduction corporate tax policy undergoing, and last year it was at the level of 25. Yes, and it's supposed to get down to 17% in 2018, and of course it has a really big importance in investing decisions. So just to make a quick picture of Portugal, we would say that we can consider Portugal as a moderate cost-based country, being Poland the cheapest one, and Spain the one with the highest costs. Then, you want to add something? Okay. Then we have the second factor, there is availability of skills, and here we have been considering the quality of relevant skills, meaning the quality of research institutions and scientific institutions, but a lot has been said about this. Right. So I would go to the quality of management school. Of course, I'm gonna, very proud to be I want to talk about also my university, and otherwise I will have some risks to undertake. And like, it's really good, I think, for Portugal, as like looking at the market size of Portugal, is really good to think that there are two universities that are ranked in the Edu Universal ranking. There are Nova Business School, Nova Universidade de Lisboa, and Universidade Católica Portuguesa. Nova being with 5-star of excellence, meaning a strong presence in the international market, and Católica with 4-star of excellence. So a bit worse. Then we have the availability, the quality of technology skills, also already been said. But Portugal is ranking very good under this point of view, ranking 20th out of 60 countries in the World Competitiveness Report, and very high level of availability of qualified engineers. The position is 15 in the rankings. If we look at Spain, it's true, it's performing better, but we also need to look at the size of the market. And so, of course, the comparison is a bit unbalanced.
That's what it is.
Yeah. So I've been already talking about the quality of delivery skill, management skills, but what I would like to underline is the fact that nowadays this idea of quality of life and Portuguese lifestyle is getting more and more known and appreciated all over the world. I'm Italian, I'm here to study in my university is full of Germans, Italians, and people coming from everywhere. So it's a really good opportunity to attract foreign talents, both for study purposes, but then majority of those remain in Portugal because Portugal can offer a lot. There is the weather factor, but also the prices. So overall, Yes. Overall, we can say that Portugal, under the point of view of availability of skill, is ranking first with a well-rounded and highly skilled talent base. Then we go to the third factor, there is environment, and we took into consideration 4 main factors. I have to be really fast, so let's just say that regarding the corruption index, all of the countries rank more or less the same, with Czech Republic being a bit worse. Then we have the homicide rate, there is 1.1 out of 100,000 people, there is basically nothing, I would say. Then quality of life index, there is really balance between the countries, with Poland being a bit worse. And accessibility to the country, I think I need to spend some minutes on this because it's an index for overall quality of infrastructure, and Portugal is ranking extremely good on that with a score of 6 out of 7. Why? Because I'm going to tell you about that a bit later in the next slides. Then fast picture, we would say that Spain is ranking a bit better, it's behaving a bit better, but still we cannot forget this idea of the market size, and we cannot compete with that. But Portugal, as has been said, is really good with all the innovation related issues and projects, and also the easiness in doing business. We have already been showing the rankings, and it's really important factor. Then quality of infrastructure, internet connection speed really high, 10th position, already been said. Then availability of houses for 1,000 citizens, Portugal is showing the highest rate with 565. Quality of roads and rails. Okay, the two things are a bit different because if we look at roads, we rank second worldwide in the World Competitiveness Report, and that's really good. While with rails, we can take it as an opportunity because there is much to be done, that's true. With the possibility to improve, for example, high-speed trains both for passengers and logistics. 10 minutes, okay. So we would like to underline the airport the airport infrastructure, really good. Lisbon Airport for 5 years in a row was nominated for the leading Europe airport, and also we have TAP, if I'm not right, it's Transporte Aéreo Português or something like that. And then it's been has won this year the award for leading airline to Africa with 71 flights per week to 10 different destinations. And then we have low-cost airlines, a new terminal in Portela Airport here in Lisbon. So from the point of view of infrastructure, there is nothing to say more. We are the best. It's very good. Let's go on. Like risk profile, I would just underline the factor of personal security index is really important because companies have to take it into consideration when bringing expatriates to Portugal. They have to be safe, otherwise it's problems. And it's in a ranking from 1 to 5, being 1 very low, Portugal is ranking 1. Political instability. 1.5, but they're more or less all the countries on the same level. Cost of inflation, it's 0.4, very lower than all the other countries. Then we consider Portugal pretty safe from the point of view of intellectual property, ranking 35, much better than the other. So we would say that the risk profile is pretty low. And, then we go to the last factor, there is market potential. Here we've been taking into consideration some GDP figures with our projection for 2015 being 1.6% GDP growth rate. And leverage to promising market indicator, meaning the capability of the country to open up to other influencing markets. And in this case, we took into consideration only language skills because we think that language is fundamental in the communication between countries. If they don't speak the same language, it's really difficult for them to understand each other. And Portugal is ranking 17th. The main languages are French and English, but we cannot forget the thing that Portuguese is it's one of the most widely spoken languages in the world, and so coming to Portugal can mean opening up to other influencing countries such as Brazil, Angola, and Mozambique, just to mention some. So from the market potential point of view, we would say that it's moderate. So just to wrap up, we see that Portugal is ranking first according to our sources. From the point of view of availability of skills, quality of infrastructure, and risk profile. Then we have Spain. I think this picture is more understandable. Yeah. Then we have cost and potential, with Poland leading the rankings. And
market potential, yeah.
What did I say? Something else, okay. Yeah, it's written in Portuguese, it's to challenge you. And environment, Spain in the first. So in the end, coming back to Elon's framework, we applied the percentage with some of the flexibility he gave us, and the scores, 1.79 for Portugal, 2.47 for Czech Republic, 2.84 for Poland, 2.57 for Spain, being the lowest, the best. So you can see the image and you can make your conclusion yourself. We think that we are pretty fine, a lot of work has to be done, but we are there.
Well, just to wrap up, this is pretty much, these results will always depend on how you look at things, obviously. We've been using one framework, we're evolving to a different one, and we want to take this one further up, and we want to work, and Paulo was mentioning that, we want to then kind of apply it per business sector, per function, per area of activity, etc. There's a world of opportunities to explore this framework. Has been very interesting to come up with the same overall interpretation of the positioning of the country. We are very competitive. We've got a lot of very good stuff to go. We need to communicate more, we know that, in terms of strategic marketing. Maybe, Elon, now, when you talk about trends and things that are happening, you may share some thoughts about that with us.